Hello Aries, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if these readings resonate with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we're starting with a 5 of Swords. You're somebody who you know how to speak up, right? I think that you typically make your mind up about things quickly. You know, I don't really see you kind of lingering on the fence about things. You know, I feel like you're very straightforward. And you're kind of a straight shooter. You know, you know what you believe. You know what you think. You know what you want. Sometimes, though, I think, especially like right now, there seems to be a little bit of uncertainty. There seems to be some kind of a fog that we're in, that we're trying to make sense of. Every Swords card, if you've noticed, there's always chaos in the background, right? Always chaos in the background. And then the swords are trying to come together in some kind of a harmonious structure, right? We're trying to make sense of something. We're trying to find the order in the chaos. We're trying to reach an agreement. We're trying to reach a conclusion and understanding. We're trying to reach some kind of a compromise. Maybe this is going on internally. Maybe this is between you and a group of people where we're trying to get a plan together. We're trying to organize ourselves a little bit, you know. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. And we've got the Hermit. We've got a Prince of Pentacles, a 2 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and a 9 of Swords. This may be a very straightforward message. It may be the Hermit here saying, it's time to walk away from this confusion, that this is not something that you're going to be able to sort out. Okay, we're trying to get things together. We're trying to organize something or get a plan or get a compromise. It may seem like this is a futile endeavor. Okay, the Hermit may be here to say, you need to walk away from this before it starts to hurt even more. Before things, and maybe this is kind of temporary, like taking the time out from it, right? It may not be permanently just saying, okay, I'm done with you, I'm going my own way. But I think it's the idea of taking a break now before things devolve into a 9 of Swords, where we're just like slinging, hate at each other, right? Before we really start getting mean, right? Before it really devolves. Let's keep going. Let's look at the rest of our cards. We've got a Prince of Wands now. You got this fire and earth thing. You're not a quitter. We have a 9 of Wands. We have a 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, the futility. The futility. Despite your very best efforts, Aries, despite all of your wonderful, committed fire and earth energy here, despite your strength, despite your purpose here, despite all of your efforts, everything that you could have done, you are doing, the situation's not going to reach a conclusion right now. Okay? So the Hermit is, well, it's the only major arcana card we have, right? So this is the kind of spiritual message here. And it's the message of kind of going your own way. It may be that this is an argument, this is a conflict, this is a beef, this is some kind of friction that's not going to have a resolution right now. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Dwight K. Schrute right there on top. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, please put your prediction down in the comments, okay? So as we look around the room, of course, we see that major arcana energy, that hermit card. It's the only one we have right front and center. That's the way Spirit's saying, look, just walk away from this situation for now. You can try to revisit it again later if you feel the need, but right now your involvement is not going to help anything, okay? You got fire, 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 0 water. You got air, air, and air. You got earth, earth, and earth. Okay? 3 fire, 3 air, 3 earth. 3, 3, and 3. The Hermit is saying, this is as good as it's going to get. To me, the 3s, the 3, 3, 3 right now is confusion, is chaos. It's kind of saying that you're not able to fix this right now. Maybe you feel it's your job. Maybe you feel like you have a responsibility. You want to fix it. There's nothing you can do. This is an impasse. This is confusion. If we stick around and we keep trying, things are just going to get worse, and we're going to get to this very unwanted 9 of Swords. This is where we're not even negotiating. We're not even having a conversation anymore. We're just being mean to each other. So we don't want to get here. Okay? The Hermit, and again, there's no water energy. So there's like all the joy, all the fun, all the love is kind of gone right now. Okay? Maybe this is a friend thing, family thing, maybe this is work stuff, whatever it is. There's no solution available at the time, at the moment. Okay? Give it at least 3, 3, 3. Give it at least 3 days, maybe even close to 9 or 10 days, right? Of just kind of hermit, just kind of walk and go do your own thing, because this is not a situation that's going to be resolved anytime within the next, I'm going to say up to 10 days from now, nothing. Okay? So the Hermit is the message from Spirit that is saying, follow your own light right now. Don't feel obligated to be involved, to fix things, to stick around and continue to have this, what feels like it's going to be a never-ending conversation that's going to just get more and more cruel as the days go on. Okay? A timeout is definitely needed. Maybe permanently, but, let's not speak in absolutes. Let's just say for right now, for the time being, it's better for you and better for the situation for you to just take a step back. Okay? Because the 5, it's showing that you've been trying to find the solution. We've been continuing to ask questions. Now, maybe this doesn't involve other people at all. Maybe this is just you. Maybe this is you searching for the answer to something, trying to figure out like we've been working on the same math problem for a while now, right? We're not getting any closer to the answer. In fact, the more we are forcing ourselves to stay here and work on the math problem, the further away we get from the answer. For one, I'm terrible at math. So I'm going through my math courses, right? And I'm doing the homework, and it's very simple, like algebra, right? Algebra 2, I think, the last one I did. And you're working on the same problem, and that's not the answer. So you erase, you get a new sheet of paper. You keep trying. But eventually our mind gets so just bent out of shape over it that we're getting further and further away. Now I'm not even able to do like simple math problems, So it's kind of like saying we just need to give the mind a rest. We need to walk away from the homework for a while, go do some other things, get some refreshment, go watch some TV, take a nap, wait a couple days, go do something else, and then maybe come back and see if we get the answer. Maybe the mystery card will confirm things for us. Is it going to be an Ace of Swords? Is it going to be clarity? Is it going to be the answer we seek? Well, we'll have to wait and see, right? So I feel that's kind of what the issue is right now, but Prince of Pentacles underneath the surface, you're not a quitter. You're not someone that gives up easily, right? You've committed to this. You sat down at the table and you say, I'm going to do this thing. We're going to figure this out, or I'm going to do this math problem. Again, I'm kind of on the fence whether there's a lot of people around you or if this is just you doing your own thing already, And it's different for everybody, obviously, right? but you're not somebody that gives up. You have a fixed earth energy. Your ego does not want to give up on this. You're showing up every day with ready to work. This is the builder. This is the one that shows up every day and is trying to do the very best job that we can. It's kind of your job to put this thing together. It's your job to figure this out, to organize it, to get the answer, to do the homework or whatever it is, to find the solution, you know. Sometimes the builder doesn't realize that it's not really their responsibility to find the answers. Because see, the builder, this is the one that I already have the blueprints, I already have the instructions, just my job to nail the wood together. Well, sure, there's going to be an issue. Maybe the wood's not cut to the right size. Maybe the problem with the nails, something isn't going quite according to plan. Well, the builder can handle most problems on their own without having to go back to the contractor or the architect or the whoever, right? Not have to kind of go up the chain and say, okay, there's a solution I can't figure out. I need your help. And I don't think we're all of that eager to go to the next level than up the hierarchy to say, hey, I can't figure out this problem. Can you do it or can you help me? We're not ready to consult that type of energy, you know? And the hermit is saying, well, we don't really have to. Before we do anything, let's step away. Let's take a day. Let's take even an hour, 5 minutes, whatever works for you. Take a little bit of time to do something else. Maybe the answer, maybe the solution will come to us before we get mad and frustrated and start doing things that we don't want to do, ripping our homework, ripping the math book up into pieces or something, right? Putting it through the shredder. And of course, before we reach out and sort of phone a friend for help, before we use one of our lifelines, let's just step away from a minute, from this for a second. Let's go do something else. Let's go get a snack. Okay? Because, yeah, the builder can handle most problems on their own. Something unexpected happens, the builder says, okay, I know what to do. No big deal. Don't have to bother the boss, right? But that's kind of like the ego is saying, well, I'm just going to figure this out without consulting the higher self. And sometimes the message is, hands off, ego, don't do anything. Come back to it in a little while. If you can figure it out on your own, fine. If you've got to go up the chain of command and consult the higher self, then that's what we'll do. But right now, I think the message is just put the tools down and let's step away and let's see if we can get any kind of insight comes to us. Okay, but you're not taking that instruction lightly. Okay, you're definitely someone that it's kind of like you're going to sit down at the table and you're going to figure this out. It's like, I'm not going to bed until this is done. I'm not going home. I'm not quitting until this is done right, until I figure this out. You know, which is a very tenacious and persevering energy, but sometimes it can be a little bit too much because we're not getting closer to the answer. I think we're stressing ourselves out a little bit too much, and taking a break is going to help. Okay, the Two of Wands in the background shows the very recent past where there was this conflict. Right? It shows the beginning of this thing. It's a Mars in Aries energy. Okay, so it's kind of like this problem that suddenly arises for you, and it may be that there's a conflict within you between which path to take in life. Sometimes the Two of Wands is a reminder that our will must be one, that our vision is kind of we need to be able to direct our attention in one direction. This could be that there is a conflict of energies. It's kind of like I don't know, in a computer. I don't know why I feel like you do something with computers, right? Like you're into some kind of computer stuff. Because I feel like this is two conflicting scripts running at the same time, and then you get the blue screen on the computer, like the thing freezes, right? So to me, it feels like there are two conflicting programs that are trying to run at the same time, two scripts that are conflicting with each other, and the processor doesn't know what to do. The logic of the machine doesn't know what to do here. And that's why we've got the Five of well, and the 9 and the 7 of swords. Because and it all originated from this, that there are just two opposing viewpoints, two opposing visions, okay, that we want something, but at the same time we don't want it. I want to go left, but I also want to go right at the same time. And maybe in some kind of philosophical way we can do that, but physically in this kind of, in this machine, in this world we're in, you can't run two conflicting scripts at the same time. They can both exist, but we can't run them at the same time. I can't literally go left and right at the same time in my body, right? I've tried. And so that's kind of the conflict that we're at, and we're trying to find this solution. Maybe there isn't a solution. Ever thought of that? Maybe this is something that we need to go back to the drawing board and think, okay, I'm trying to put a square peg in a round hole, and I'm going to sit here at the table until I figure it out. Maybe we're looking at the problem all wrong. Maybe we're saying, okay, well, there's just a fundamental incompatibility here. Maybe we have to go back to the root of the problem. We're trying to solve something, but maybe it's insolvable. Maybe it's just like some, I don't know, me. Like I just scribbled a bunch of numbers and symbols on the paper, and I said, here, solve this calculus problem. And you've been sitting there for days trying to solve the problem, but I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I don't know if this is actually a calculus problem or not, you know. So it's almost like we're seeing the futility of sticking around and working on this so hard right now. And I'm not usually one, the readings, at least here, don't usually say, just give up. Just quit, you know. That's not the message. No, the message is really that we need to take a step back and we need to look at it. First, we need to go have a snack, right? I can tell we're getting hungry. We want a break. We want to rest. I want to watch some TV or something, right? Watch another YouTube tarot reading from your favorite YouTube tarot reader, wink, wink. And then come back to the problem, and maybe you'll see it with a fresh pair of eyes. Maybe we can go back to the origin, to what started the thing, and realize that that's the whole problem here is that there are two conflicting scripts running. The problem here is that there's just this fundamental incompatibility, right? It's kind of like the way that you might have something wrong with the TV. It's not working. It won't turn on. I don't understand. I'm going to take it apart, and I'm going to figure out why it won't turn on. Wait a minute. Let's step back. Let's go get a snack. Let's come back, and let's look at the cord. Maybe it's just not plugged into the wall, right? Maybe it's plugged in upside down. Maybe the wire is hooked up to the wrong plug in the back, you know? Let's look at that stuff first before we take the whole thing apart, or before we smash it, which is what we would see with the 9 of swords. Before we do something drastic, this is Mars. Mars and Gemini. We got Mars in Aries back here, and we got more Mars energy up front. So before we do something drastic, like smash it, throw it away, or put the math book through the shredder, let's trace this back to the wall. Let's check our connections. Right? Let's check the compatibility. Maybe we put the red plug into the green input or something. You know what I mean? Maybe we mixed up something. Maybe we're on the wrong input. Maybe the HDMI 1, we should be on HDMI 2. You know, that sort of thing. Before we take the TV apart, let's just check the wires. Let's start at the beginning. Let's start with the simple things, right? And, well, you could be saying, well, I've already done that. Okay, yeah, maybe that's true. Nevertheless, it still isn't time to take the thing apart. We still need to step back and do something else. Maybe it's just defective. Maybe there's something deeper going on that really it's Spirit's way of saying you don't need to be watching TV right now. Or this is not the problem for you. That fixing this is not going to fix anything. That we have to go back to the fundamental reason, like why do I feel like I need to fix this problem? You know, we've been tinkering with some. You ever do that? You ever you're working on something for a long time and you're really stressed out about it? And then this moment comes and you just realize, I don't care. If this works or doesn't work, it doesn't matter to me. You know? And so I think we need to step away from this and figure things out inside of us a little bit. Find our own kind of our own intuition, our own light, you know, because this could be a situation where we realize that I've already spent a lot of time on this and I'm not really connected with it anymore. I don't really care if it works or doesn't work. So I'm going to walk away and I'm going to do something that's going to be kind of more resonant with me. Okay. Because I see a lot of attachment, a lot of involvement, a lot of we're stuck on this problem. Taking a step back it will help. Whether that leads to the aha moment of insight, whether it leads to us realizing that, hey, there's no water energy here. I don't care if it works or not. Or if it's a simple solution that we overlooked. Or if it's Spirit's way of saying, you don't need to be doing that right now. Like I want to get the TV to work. I want to get the TV to work. Maybe it's Spirit's way of saying, you should be doing something else, not watching TV right now. Right? The Five of Pentacles at the top here, it's just showing more of the same, right? The Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, that we're seeing a problem and we're looking at it. Looking at it, looking at it, looking at it. Every time we get a 5, it's Spirit's way of saying, look over here, right? The 5 is kind of saying like, something's broken. So you look at it. It's the squeaky wheel. Oh, it's drawing in our attention. This is, you stub your toe. It's your body's way of saying, look at the toe. Right? So something is obviously out of whack. And now we're focused on it. Spirit wants you to look at it to say, where is it out of whack and how can I get it back in whack? Right? Well, the same thing is now going on with your mind. That now your mind is so stressed out on the verge of cruelty, on the verge of a 9 of Swords. So Spirit's saying, you got to look at your own mind. You got to turn your mental attention back in on itself and look at your mind, look at how you're thinking. Just as this is the physical world that says pay attention to something. Your cup has a hole in the bottom of it and you're about to pour a big glass of water, right? Well, look at the hole first. Pay attention. Pay attention to the physical world. But now you're doing that, and now Spirit's saying, pay attention to your mind. Pay attention to what this is doing to you. Pay attention to how stressed out you are. Okay? And the Hermit is kind of like it's meta, it's like who's watching the watcher. It's this fractal kind of, realization that we have to pay attention now to our own thinking apparatus because we're realizing that this situation is stressing me out to the point that I'm about to lose it. I'm about to go 9 of Swords. Let's talk about the path of the serpent. It's more of the same. It literally is the same thing over here. Fire, earth, and air. Fire, earth, and air. Okay. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider hitting the subscribe button. These readings are totally free. It really does help out the channel, and I appreciate that. Okay. The Prince, right? Starting with the Prince here, we have the Prince of Pentacles here, we have the Prince of Wands over here. The Prince of Wands is your ego and its commitment. This is, again, that part of the ego that says, I'm not giving up until it's done. I'm not quitting until things are done right and the job is over. We have this fire and earth, this manifestation, your ability to have the impulse and the behavior to say, I'm doing it, and now look, it's done. Right? This is will, this is action, this is heaven, this is earth, this is fire and earth, above and below. This is the spiritual electrical circuit of creation. Right? This is the art and science of manifestation. We have an intention, and it materializes. We have an impulse, and it expresses itself in the physical environment. Through our behaviors, through our creations, what we're molding, right? We set an intention, we have a will, and suddenly our hands are molding the clay into the object. Okay? But right now, the mind is getting in the way of that. We're not able to see, we're not able to make that connection and have that moment of creation. Something isn't working. We obviously want something to happen here. We want the situation to be a certain way. But the mind is not able to put it together. Okay, well, maybe one of the reasons why is because the heart's not there either. To go from fire to earth, what do you need? You need the water and the air and then the earth. So the human heart and mind is the conductor of this spiritual electricity. Something has to conduct the fire to the earth, right? It's our psyche. It's our soul. It's our heart and mind. Okay? And you see what the mind is like right now, and the heart is not even in it anymore. So this is not going to work. Okay? But the ego, this fixed fire energy, is not quitting, not ready to give up. This is a tenacity. This is a perseverance. This is, I've suited up and I'm showing up, and that's it. And this is wonderful energy. Sometimes we have to realize the futility, which is the Seven of Swords. That's the name of the card, the Lord of Futility. Sometimes we have to realize that the way I've been approaching this hasn't been working. I need to take a step back, see if my heart's still in it, see where my heart went, right? The heart, the water energy, not even in the room. Where did the heart go? Maybe your heart is just like, okay, I'm kind of done with it. And you've been in that situation before. When you've been struggling, mentally fixed on something, working on something, but then it's just kind of like you reach that point where it's like, my heart's not in it right now. I need to take a break. I used to remember this playing video games. You'd be stuck on the video game for hours, right? When I was like a kid, with the old Nintendo and Super Nintendo. And you'd be playing the game, playing. You've been struggling, trying to pass the levels. And then eventually you just realize that, like, I'm not really enjoying myself. Like, I don't care anymore. So I'm going to go do something else for a while. I'll come back. I'll care about it later. But I want to go outside and play. I want to go have a snack. I want to go read a book. Right? Do something else. It's not that we don't love this, perhaps, right? But it's that right now we're not connected. We're not connecting with it. And when you have the absence of that feeling, because it gives way to a different feeling, the mental sort of stress about it. And the physical, I think the physical stress too. But in the environment, you have a 9 of Wands, right? In terms of your relationship with this thing, I feel like you are connected with it. To me, it feels like you have a sense of purpose here. Now, we have to take that step back, go hermit mode for a brief time, so that we can make sure that this strength and resilience that we feel is really a connection with purpose, and this isn't just like an obligation that we somehow feel now we have to do it, we have to stay here. Whether I like it or not, I've committed to it, This is somebody who does not break their promises. But we have to search ourselves, and we have to ask, okay, if my strength is here, if I have this desire to fix this thing and there's a commitment, is this because I really feel a connection with this thing, that this is my purpose and I really want to do this because I care about it and I feel this energy? Or is this me trying to hold myself to a commitment that I really don't care about anymore? And I think if this really is a meaningful thing for you, the energy will return. You'll step away, you'll come back refreshed, you'll come back with the answer, you'll come back with new ideas at least. And the energy will be there. Okay? Otherwise, this is going to give way to burnout, to frustration, to anger. We're either going to get a 9 of Wands or a 9 of Swords. Okay? I think the way things are going now, we're very close to just being frustrated and angry and miserable and burned out, mentally burned out on this struggle. Okay? If we step away for a time and then we come back, we'll see. If the 9 of Wands is there, then maybe this is meant for us. If we're still feeling the same thing and we're still getting close to the 9 of Swords, maybe that's the indication that, okay, this really isn't meant for me. Because if it's meant for you, if you're doing something that is aligning with your soul, with your spiritual purpose, you're going to feel the energy. You're going to feel the stamina. You're going to feel the commitment. There's going to be a surge of this force and fire in you. If it's not meant for you, if it's not in alignment with your spiritual purpose or your soul, we're going to be very quickly back into a 9 of Swords. Okay? But what you don't want is to fail. And, well, yeah, obviously. We don't want to put in all this work and then have to walk away and say, nah, I couldn't do it. There have been plenty of times in my life where I've struggled really, really hard to do something, and there's a point where it's like, now I don't even care about doing it. I just don't want to walk away and have to admit that I couldn't do it. that I don't really care about it anymore, but I'm going to put this bookshelf together, just because I don't want to walk away and then tell my wife, hey, I couldn't figure it out, which I've had to do before. And it's a humbling thing to walk in and say, oh, I got this. And then hours go by and you come inside from the garage and you say, I give up. I can't do it. I don't know. I don't even want to. I don't even want to look at it. Send it back or, whatever. And very often she'll do it. It'll take her 5 minutes and, but this is sometimes the only thing keeping us going is this fear of failure. I just don't want to look like a chump and not get it done. Right? So it doesn't matter what it's doing to me. I won't let myself fail. Okay? And this is very productive. This is very motivating to us. Just this idea that, hey, if you don't do it, everyone's going to see that you didn't do it, and you're going to feel like a failure. So you better do it. No matter what it's doing to you mentally, you better do it. All right? This is something we have to get over. Okay? Because maybe there really isn't a solution here. We see the 7 of Swords at the end here, and this is futility. This is saying we're looking for that solution, we're looking for that clarity, but it's not there. The answer isn't going to come to you. Right now, for now and the next week or 10 days, you're not going to succeed at this. It's not going to, the answer's not going to come, you're not going to get it to work. So we take a step back, think about it in some different ways, try to see where the water energy went, and then we come back and we see what exists here. If you look at it in the morning, it's going to look different. Okay, let's look at the mystery card. Will this be the clarity? Now, I don't know if the week in 10 days is really a thing or not. It feels to me like it's kind of like a week thing that I'm getting, like this 7-day period. But, we could wake up in the morning and have the solution. We could wake up tomorrow and realize, I don't care about this. I'm happy to not even be involved. I don't even want to touch it again. It's the furthest thing from my mind, So it's really, you've got to use your own judgment and your own discernment. This is either going to be an Ace of Swords, or it's going to be maybe a 5 or an 8 of Cups. This could be the Adjustment card or Justice. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. The Queen of Swords. Yes, the Queen of Swords is a detachment. The Queen of Swords is us sort of looking at it objectively. So really it is taking a step back, hermit mode, coming back to it with a fresh pair of eyes, and really being honest about what we see. I just see a pile of wires that I don't really care about. I don't even want it. It doesn't, I feel no connection to it at all. Or we come back to it, we feel this surge of energy that says, I'm ready to figure this thing out. And we get back to it. But we have to have that detachment. Because right now you're so in the middle of it. You're so mixed up in everything that I picture your hair is just like all frazzled, and your clothes are, you seem disheveled by it, right? And so we need to take a break, get cleaned up, refresh ourselves, compose ourselves, come back to it at a later date, tomorrow, the next day, a week from now, with calm, sober detachment, with our own internal clarity, so that we can get a more objective picture, assessment of what's going on. Okay? So, yeah, I think this is the way forward for you. This is the secret key of all of this, is to take that step away, come back with an attitude of detachment, and really like an honesty. Okay? And looking at it, we clear our own heart and mind, and we can come back to this and see if we find any clarity here. If we find any love or any purity or any desire to still work on this. Or if it just, this is for somebody else. I can walk away from this. I can walk away from this and not feel this compelling need to fix it or to make it work. Sometimes we just have to say, it's not working, and I don't care if it works or not anymore. that I'm not going to be ashamed of walking away without having solved the problem. You know? I like this card. We're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top and there's a link down below. New readings for Aries Mondays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please hit the subscribe button. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.